All right, so for my circuit training virtual field trip, I brought you to Astoria Park here, where we're going to complete 6 different stations of different activities that are going to address all different parts of the body, including cardiovascular endurance. So in this routine, I chose to complete various different sets and reps of activities. I chose to include different aspects of the park in my routine, such as this bench. I've used the curb. I'm going to use the pole there for support. But just being aware of your surroundings is a real important part of knowing how and where to exercise. Three things you need to consider for your warm-up activity are the muscles that you are addressing in your warm-up should be the muscles that you are addressing in whatever exercise or physical activity you'll be doing in the near future. Number 2, it needs to be given with a set of instructions, almost like teaching cues, to complete each activity. And lastly, your warm-up must include both static and dynamic activities to make sure that you're fully addressing the warm-up components. The first warm-up activity I'm going to choose in order to get ready for my circuit training routine is going to be a light jog that includes butt kicks and high knees. It can only go for about 30 seconds to a minute just to get the blood flowing and get your breathing rate up. You can do it as many times as you like, but I'm only going to show you once. Ready? And go. Second warm-up activity I'm going to choose is going to be a quad stretch. You can either choose to do this freestanding on your own, or you can use something like a tree somewhere in the park that can help you use for balance. So you're going to want to use both legs, so you'll target the left leg first for about 10 seconds holding that stretch, and then you'll take a 5-second break, and then you'll do it with the same with the right leg. So I'll start with my left, hold the tree for balance, hold it for 10 seconds. I would switch to the right, hold the tree for balance, and hold it for 10 seconds. Warm-up activity number 3 is going to be a hamstring stretch. For this activity, I can just spread my feet about shoulder width apart anywhere in the park. I'm choosing the grass. And then I would just simply lean down to the left, try to touch my toe, hold it for 10 seconds, come back up to a straight position like I'm standing now, and then I would bend down to the right and do the same on my right side. So again, lean down, touch your toe, hold it for 10 seconds, make sure your knee is not bending. If you can't reach your toe, that's okay. Come back up and do the same thing down on the right side. Warm-up activity number 4 is going to be a windmill, or as I like to call, grass clippers. Okay, so for this activity, I'm going to focus on increasing the flexibility of my lower back, my hips. I'm going to spread my feet about shoulder width apart again, bend down from the waist. So make sure that I'm not bending my legs in any way. Hold my arms straight out to the side, and now almost like a bent over trunk twist. I can do that for about 30 seconds and then come back up to a warm-up activity 5. In order to get my shoulder blades and my arms in ready for activity, I can choose to do arm circles. So I'd hold my hands out to the side, start with small circles moving forward, and progressively get larger and larger to the largest. You can also then start to do small arm circles backwards, and bigger, bigger, and biggest. After you've completed your warm-up, now you're ready to start your circuit training activity. These activities should be pre-planned, predetermined, knowing which activities you'll be doing to address different parts of the body. Remember that a circuit training routine should address all parts of the body, including cardiovascular endurance. So the first activity I chose for my circuit training routine is going to be a heel raise, addressing the lower my lower leg, the strength and endurance of my lower legs. I'm going to choose to use the pole here as a support system to start with my heel raise. So again, you would want to do you're going to have to tell me how many sets and how many repetitions you're going to be including at each station. So station 1, again, is my heel raise, and I think I'm going to do about 3 sets of 10 reps. So I can either choose to stand on flat ground and hold the pole for support, or as a progression, I can actually go down onto the curb now, so my feet will actually be even going lower in order to increase the difficulty of my, increase the intensity of my workout routine. So again, I would just have to do 1 set of 10 just to show you example. Up and down, slow. Station 2 of my circuit training routine is going to be a push-up. In the park, you can use any surface you'd like, the grass on a flat surface, or you can use a park bench like I'm going to show you right now. First thing you need to make sure is that you're wearing the right type of shoes so you have the proper grip. And next, you want to make sure you have the right type of grip on whatever surface you're using, especially if it's going to be inverted like the bench. So I would have to get down into a regular push-up position, just slightly inverted, making sure still that there's a straight line from my shoulders down my back to my heel, and you choose how many repetitions you complete in each set and how many sets. So since it's addressing the upper part of my body here in my arms, I'm going to choose about 3 sets of about 10 reps. So get down in the proper position, okay, arms shoulder width apart just like a normal push-up, and you begin making sure to breathe in between each push-up. Station 3 of my circuit training routine is going to be something that addresses cardiovascular endurance. I'm choosing to use stairs, but you can also find any type of hill or any inclined surface, anything that's just a little bit more difficult than flat ground. So if you're climbing up a flight of stairs, you're going to tell me how many times you're going to do it, okay, and whether or not you are just going straight up and walking down, or whether you're going to adding little periods of rest in between each set of stairs. All right, so I'm going to choose to do 3 sets of however many steps are in this staircase here. All right, so first, ready, set, go. Again, I'm not choosing to include any rest. One more time. Station 4 of my circuit training routine would be addressing the upper part of my body, but this time, rather than the front of my chest and my biceps, I'll be addressing my tricep region, completing dips. Again, you can choose any surface you have in the park. It can even be done on flat ground. You can use a bench. I'm going to choose to use this guardrail and cement wall that we see here. So for the dip, you'll be facing backwards, making sure you have a good grip on whatever surface your hands are going to be on. And again, nice athletic shoes would help. Walk yourself out so you're in a straight position. Make sure your legs are also straight. And then simply slowly lower yourself down, bending at the elbow to about 90 degrees. Choose how many sets and how many reps. Station 4, my circuit training routine is going to be addressing the muscular strength and endurance of my quads and my hamstrings. So it's going to be a wall sit. You could actually, if you don't have access to a wall, if you're outside in a park like this, you can actually choose to do something like a squat instead to address that portion. But we have a nice wall here. So you get down to your knees are about 90 degrees. And you're going to hold that position without using your hands to touch your legs or hold yourself up against the wall. You'll hold this for 30 seconds to about a minute. Take a 30-second break, and then you can even choose to do a couple more repetitions of that exercise. Station number 6 of my circuit training routine is going to be addressing the muscular strength and endurance of my core. I'm choosing to do planks. There are many other types of activities and modifications for the plank that you can do. I'm just going to show you the basic one. So you get down onto your hands and knees for ready position. When you're ready to begin, go down to your forearms and elbows. I like to hold my hands together for a little bit more support and balance. And when I'm ready to start, I lift my legs, touching now only with my toes and my arms, and I'm holding that position within a straight line for 30 seconds to a minute. You can also choose to do a couple more repetitions of that with about 30-second break in between. So you're going to have to choose 6 to 10 different activities in your circuit training routine that you're going to have to repeat over and over again, but you also have to include short periods of rest. You may choose to include short periods in between specific sets depending on the intensity level of your exercises, but you will definitely have to include a little bit of a longer period of rest at the end of your cycle, right before you get ready to start your cycle again. So the three things that you need to consider is you need to address all parts of the body. You need to include specific teaching cues for each activity, including your warm-ups. And lastly, you need to include proper and appropriate periods of rest.